So there you are, just a quiet patch of land outside an ancient city in India. Birds are chirping, deer are wandering around, and absolutely nobody has any idea that in a few minutes, you're about to become one of the most important places in human history.
Sounds pretty cool, right? Well, enjoy the peace while it lasts. Then, one day, around 528 BC, a man named Siddhartha Gautama walks onto your land after achieving enlightenment. He gathers 5 monks, takes a deep breath, and delivers his very first sermon. Congratulations! You just accidentally became the place where Buddhism officially began. No pressure. News spreads fast. Pilgrims start showing up from everywhere. Temples appear, monasteries appear, stupas appear. One peaceful little park suddenly turns into one of the biggest Buddhist pilgrimage sites on Earth. Guess your quiet days are officially over. A few centuries later, Emperor Ashoka shows up. But here's the awkward part. Before becoming Buddhism's biggest supporter, he was basically one of history's most terrifying conquerors. During the Kalinga War alone, over 100,000 people died. The horror changed him forever, and now he wants to spread peace instead. To make up for his past, Ashoka orders an incredible stone pillar to be built right on top of you. Carved from a single block of sandstone, polished until it shines like a mirror. Over 2,300 years later, people still can't fully explain how they did it with Iron Age tools. And that polish wasn't just hype. Around 900 years later, a Chinese monk named Xuanzang traveled thousands of kilometers just to see you. He looked at the pillar and basically said, "It still shines like a mirror." Imagine someone in 2026 being amazed that a building from the year 1126 still looked brand new. But the pillar wasn't just there to look pretty. Ashoka actually carved a warning into it, not for enemies, but for Buddhist monks themselves. It basically said, "Stop fighting each other." Congratulations. Humanity needed a "please don't start drama" sign even 2,000 years ago. The 4 lions sitting on top weren't just decoration either. They symbolized the Buddha himself. Above them once stood a giant stone wheel representing freedom from the cycle of rebirth. Sadly, the most important part didn't survive. Today, only broken fragments remain. Then, disaster. Over the centuries, your temples collapsed. Your monuments broke apart. Eventually, one of Asia's most famous pilgrimage sites simply disappeared beneath the earth. Imagine becoming so forgotten. People literally stopped knowing where you were. For hundreds of years, you stayed hidden. Entire empires rose and fell above you. Kings came and went. Generations lived their whole lives without knowing one of history's greatest treasures was buried just beneath their feet. Then, in 1904, archaeologists started digging. A little deeper, until suddenly they uncovered the lion capital of Ashoka. After India became independent, that very lion capital was chosen as the country's national emblem. Yeah, every Indian passport, every government document, every rupee coin, and even the wheel on the Indian flag, all trace back to something buried beneath you. You'd think that would be the perfect ending. Nope. even after changing the course of world history, you still had to wait 28 years just to become a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Finally, in July 2026, the world officially gave you the recognition you deserved all along. So, let's recap. You witnessed the birth of Buddhism, survived the transformation of one of history's most feared emperors, carried a pillar no one can fully explain, disappeared for centuries, gave India its national emblem, and somehow it still took the world until 2026 to officially recognize your importance. But without you, one of the world's greatest religions and one of India's most iconic symbols might have looked very different.